Awesome. All right. So today we're going to be building a YouTube thingy together. Now, we're calling it a thingy because we know we're wanting to build a YouTube thing, but we're not really sure what that thing is. So today we're going to get clear on what this thing is. Sound good?
This is the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast for entrepreneurs and business owners looking for cool online tools, apps and strategies to make business easy online. My name is Nick Cree and I'm your host. Each episode features a guest expert demystifying the online universe, sharing inspirational ideas and providing tested real-world strategies to help you get the most of what's available online to grow your business today. Don't be a slave to your business, get your business working for you. Subscribe now and get some great content and ideas for you and your business today.
That brings us now to my favourite part of the evening, and that is where we've got our guest speaker on tonight. And tonight we have Orson Lord, who is going to talk to us about this thing called YouTube and really how to make YouTube work. So he's going to talk about how you sort of get engagement in the channel, how to boost your views, and how to get conversions. So just by a show of hands, how many people here already have videos up on YouTube? You've got a YouTube channel or you've got some videos up there. Fantastic, excellent. How many people there are struggling to get into the hundreds with their views? Anyone sort of, yep, okay, great. Anyone here got 1 million views yet? Not quite, all right. I know that Orson, he's got one of his videos, or was one of his clients, and he had 70 views and he got it up to 30,000 views in a week. So he must be doing something there to get that happening. So hopefully we'll hear a bit about how all that worked tonight. Just to give you a wee bit of background about him. Orson does work with businesses on their YouTube channels. We were having a conversation just before we came on tonight, and a lot of people are on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, those channels there. But really YouTube is another social media channel, and it's a great channel for people to post up to, and it's a really good, quick way to build authority, because not only do your videos get displayed in the YouTube channel, but they also get displayed on Google search as well too. So Orson, who's going to be speaking with us tonight, he is a YouTube Reach Activator, and his specialty is to boost YouTube engagement. And he assists businesses that are getting fewer than 100 views per video to increase their viewership, and often getting it into thousands. So I was fascinated when he was talking to me about what he does, and I'm sure you will be tonight as well too. So let's put your hands together and welcome to the stage, Orson Lord.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nick, for having me. I'll have to do one little clarity thing. Sorry, miscommunication. It was me. I gave myself those 30,000 views, and it was over a 2-month period, not 2 days, but 70 to 30,000 still pretty good. So
there you go. I can't vouch for my accuracy. My research team was excellent.
Totally. All good. But I feel like, just to be honest with everyone here, and apart from that, I'm super excited to be able to present this with everyone today. I'm sure we're all going to gain a lot of valuable insight. Now, first thing I want to do is a little bit of housekeeping. So one of the big things I like is if everyone can keep their cameras on. It really helps me when I can see eyes, because I'm either going to look for if you're bored or if you're excited, and I'm going to adjust myself as that goes. So if you want to have a good input into how this goes, keep your camera on. That'll help a lot. Secondly, if you do have a question, feel free to put them in the chat. Nick, maybe I might have to ask you or one of your team to help call them out, because I may not be able to keep an eye on it. Or there will be many times where I stop and go, does anyone need clarification? This is your chance to ask. So feel free to hold those questions. I will give you plenty of chances throughout the presentation. I try to keep them frequent, the question times, because if you get lost early on, it's hard to catch up. So if you get really lost, do feel free to raise your hand. I will see that, and then I will give you time if I can make it work. Awesome. So going into things today, I've taken down the notes. Immediately, the biggest thing I'm seeing from everyone is getting your content seen by a lot of people. That seems to be the biggest challenge people are going through. Is this a better way for you to notice where asking a question? I can't see. We'll keep it to the hands up icon. Sorry, I was just reading a question in the chat. But basically what I heard from most people was actually getting your content seen by a lot of people. So it sounds like a lot of us are in this trap where we're posting these videos, they're getting anywhere from 2 to 16 views, probably seems to be the most common, and then nothing. It just flatlines. YouTube's not helping us. What's going on? Would that be correct? Can I get some nods or a thumbs up? Yep. Okay, that's what I'm hearing a lot of. There was a couple other things. So, Cameron, you talked about making and selling digital courses. I'm going to say that YouTube's probably one of the best places if you're looking at selling digital courses or digital products, because just naturally, and if everyone wants to ask ourselves here, if you were to looking how to do something, trying to figure out how to solve and do something, where do you go? Do you look up on Facebook, how to fix a lawnmower? No, we go to YouTube. It's either Google or YouTube, depending on if we want a visual explanation or a word explanation. So just keep that in mind. So that's great. So I'm sure, Cameron, you're going to get absolute lot out of it. Now, someone else said something, and this is a warning, and this is something I'll share with everyone. Someone said that they work with local businesses. Now, to me, as a YouTube specialist, this is a big red flag, but it doesn't mean you're not going to get anything out of today. In fact, you'll probably get more. So YouTube doesn't have much in the way of actually being able to discern who your target audience is besides country. So if you work with a suburb or a city, YouTube really struggles to figure out, oh, this is a Brisbane audience, not a Sydney audience. It'll know an Australian audience, but it won't know a city. So if you work specifically with a city, then this is something just to be wary of, where YouTube might really struggle. It just doesn't have the tools built to make that work. Instead, you'll be looking at places like TikTok or Facebook or Instagram. Now, if that's the case, what's great about this is that my tool that I use to actually figure out how to find viral video ideas will actually still apply on other platforms. So if you're a local business, worry not, you're probably going to get a lot by the end of this. Does that sound good to everyone? Yep, awesome, fantastic. Okay, so first up, let's get into this. I think the biggest thing we'll talk about first is the social media algorithm. We're posting this content, it's not getting seen by anyone. Why is the algorithm not pushing my video out further to hundreds and thousands of people? So let's get into that now. Awesome. Okay, hang on, I've got to share my screen. When my keyboard works, okay. Then we want to go. Sorry, I'm just looking for my screen. It's not giving me that as an option. For a camera guy, you should have this stuff figured out, eh?
I have to say that's happened to me as well. What you need to do is just make sure your cursor is on the screen that you want before you share it, and then share that screen.
Awesome. Well, I will do this instead. So it's going to be a bit choppier than usual. It's not going to be as nice looking, but this will definitely work. So we go slide only, and then I should be able to. Okay, cool. Now, all right, so this is going to work as best as I can make it. Now, can I have a volunteer? Can I have someone come up and work with me on this next slide? We're going to understand the algorithm together. All right, Aldwin, you raised your hand first, so you get the treat. So come on up.
Okay, thank you so much.
Awesome. All right, so today we're going to be building a YouTube thingy together. Now, we're calling it a thingy because we know we're wanting to build a YouTube thing, but we're not really sure what that thing is. So today we're going to get clear on what this thing is. Sound good?
Okay, great.
Awesome. So first steps first is understanding how YouTube can serve you. We got to get clear on what this winning goal is. So why do you want to be on YouTube? So Aldwin, how do I pronounce your name? Sorry.
Aldwin.
Aldwin, there we go.
Yeah.
Aldwin. Aldwin, what would you like to get out of YouTube today?
Well, I want to reach more people, have more impact.
Reach more people, have bigger impact?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's pretty similar to what a lot of people have said. So a lot of people have said, I want to have influence, credibility, trust, like you were saying in the bottom lines. I want to be an inspiration to other people around the values I believe in. I want people to receive help and service they need, even if they're not ready for my one-on-one. So it can be anything from fully selfish to making more sales to I'm wanting to bring more good in the world. Well, there's only one thing YouTube can actually do for you. And that's get you seen by a lot of people and maybe pay you for promoting yourself while you're at it. We're all pretty sick. We've all probably tried paying for Facebook ads, correct?
Yes.
Right? Imagine if you could make a Facebook ad and they pay you for that ad as well. Seems like a bit of a cheat code to life. Well, that's what YouTube can do for a lot of people. You can become monetized and you can earn yourself money while you're creating videos that build you as an authority. Now, the big question that comes up is how? So, sorry, I've already forgotten how to pronounce it again. How does it go?
Aldwin.
Aldwin. Awesome. So, Aldwin, you post a video up, and this is going to, I'll just see if I can make this play. Can you guys still see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's probably got all the presentation notes, doesn't it?
Yes.
Hang on.
Next slide.
Next slide. See if I can make this work. Never mind. All right, we're gonna have to do it spoiler style. Okay. Here we go. So, Aldwin, when you create your YouTube video, I'm just going to use my mouse to present this, so it's a little bit different. Usually everything slides on in, but we'll make it work. When you create your video, what do? You upload it to YouTube. So when you upload this to YouTube, do you know how to check if people are actually watching your video and how long they watch it for?
Yeah, you can check in the settings.
Yes, yeah. So when you create your video and you put it up on YouTube, first things that happens is that YouTube plays the video. And when they play that video, someone was mentioning this in the comments before, they serve an ad. It annoys everyone, but that's how they make money, right? So as they serve that ad, YouTube makes money. Now, if someone watches that video from beginning to end, they don't get served one ad. They get served usually somewhere on the lines of 3 or more. This means YouTube's made 3 times as much money from serving ads from your video compared to, say, someone else's where they only watched the beginning. So YouTube absolutely loves this. Can I make this move across? There we go. And that's the little meme. The kid goes, thumbs up, yeah. So basically, YouTube loves it when people watch your video for longer because it makes them more money. So when you make YouTube more money, YouTube goes, well, if this makes me the most money, I'm going to keep showing it to more and more people. That's how YouTube decides what videos get shown around. So if you want to focus on your views getting lots of views, you got to help YouTube first. Or in simple terms, if you want to win at YouTube and get seen by lots of people, keep the audience on YouTube longer than your competitors. That's the one and only rule that's applied to winning at YouTube from beginning to end. So, Aldwin, I'm really sorry I made this up because I haven't been able to present it normally. Usually it's a bit more interactive and things would pop in and out, but it's kind of just killed all the interactivity. So thank you for the words where I did get you in. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that's the only rule from about 12 years ago. That rule applied and that rule still sticks today. So if there's one rule you want to learn when winning at social media, it's definitely this one. If you can get this sorted first, it will stick with you for as long as you're doing business. If you're learning lots of tips and tricks and how to get around things, maybe a year, half a year, but eventually trends end. This doesn't. Now, is there any questions? This is a great time to ask any questions if we are starting to feel a bit lost or we're feeling clearer. How are we all going?
Yes, I have a question.
Oh, go for it. Yes.
Sorry, just the length. So you say do a longer video. How long is an ideal length?
So the secret here is, and this is the trickiest part, is you want to make a video that people will watch as long as possible that you can do. So if you can make a video that's 10 minutes long and people watch from beginning to end, so let's say you still have 80% of the audience still watching by the end, you could probably keep making a longer video. If you're having everyone drop off in the first 30 seconds, so if by the 30-second mark, you're at 30% audiences left, you want to make it shorter and condense your efforts so that you can hold people for longer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
So it's actually, you're always playing against yourself because there's very limited knowledge unless you work with a lot of people like me to understand what's the normal and average lengths. You can also make guesses. So when you look at your competitors, look at people who are doing similar things, go, how long are people watching for? Just try and make a guess. Try and be empathetic to their customer base. Go, how long are they going to stick around? Victoria, what did you have?
I had I've got a YouTube channel and some of my videos have had lots of views and one of them got to a point where I could monetize it. But I found when I monetized it, I got less views because people don't like to watch ads. So because I'm a compost business, and I don't think it's a business that it's a niche business, and I don't think that, you know, every Tom, Dick and Harry is going to watch compost videos, I didn't see the value in having ads on there, which would prevent people from actually watching the content, which is what I want them to see. Yeah.
So when you turn ads on a video, it depends, but usually it doesn't actually change the ad frequency that people are served. So I've seen plenty of channels. I work with channels that aren't monetized. They still get served ads. The only thing that happens when you turn ads on is that you're now taking a cut out of YouTube's profits. Now, YouTube, maybe they have some mysterious algorithm going on where if people aren't monetized, we're going to push them further because we get to keep the king's keep. I don't think I've seen anything like that. People do get sick of ads, but people who really are sick of ads, and people complain about it a lot, they'll either get an ad block or they'll pay for the premium version. Now, in terms of actual official numbers from third-party sources, vidIQ has released a thing where they did a complete analysis on how much ads affect viewer retention, and they consistently only saw a 1% in viewer and 1% reduction in viewer retention. So from the graph, it was only 1%. It was not really much at all, and people were still seeing increases in revenue in terms of the things. So it shouldn't be much, but if you think it's the opposite, absolutely feel free to shoot me an email. I love being proved wrong because it makes me better at my job.
Well, how do you prove that that I just noticed a drop off in views? So how do you prove that those ads are being shown to people?
How do you prove that they're being shown to people?
Like, how do you know that there's an ad somewhere in your video?
There just always is. There's the only time they really wouldn't be an ad in your video if it's an unadvertisable ad, but they're very rare.
So
sorry, go.
Well, so even if you don't monetize your video, there'll still be ads in those videos.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you could give a myriad of excuses, but yeah, there's always ads, so it does cost money. In fact, we won't get too deep into that, but YouTube is a really expensive platform to operate and run. It's beyond expensive to operate and run a video-centric social media. Every time those videos are getting sent across, there are servers that have to manage that, and those servers cost a lot of money. So YouTube is always trying to figure out how to pull every cent out of that platform because they need to.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sorry, go.
Yeah, well, so if you were offered monetization, then would that mean that that YouTube felt that your videos were making some money and that you should monetize your video?
If you're being offered monetization, then that means you're doing something very right. And yes, this is actually, this is going to be a fun story. Let's share this one. Peter, I still see you. Hold that thought in your head. We're going to get to you. So this is a lesson I learned from working at a cattle station. And you're going, what does working at a cattle station have to do with YouTube? And it's very similar. So if you've ever worked at a cattle station, it's a farm. The first thing that happens when a new boss comes in, there's a young kid, they've just bought their farm, they're going to really make this succeed. The first thing they go is, I'm going to sell more cattle, I'm going to make more money. So they go buy a bunch of heifers, bring them in, they start breeding, and then 6 months later, they've eaten through all the grass. And now they have to sell them at a bad time in the market, the conditions aren't right, and they end up doing twice the work for half the money. The lesson to learn in there is if you want to make more money as a farmer, grow your grass, not grow cattle. That's what you focus on. The social media equivalent of that is good content. Now, for whatever reason, in whatever case, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, they still can't comprehend that. They're always thinking about how to bring people in. But YouTube, and you can see this through their monetization program, they give you this money because it incentivizes you to create better content, which then creates a bigger audience, which then allows them to sell more ads. So YouTube, for whatever reason, understands that creating the ecosystem of content first rewards them better down the line. And for some reason, as you get bigger companies, they're all run by KPIs, and KPIs can't show that, and it becomes very hard to manage that kind of result. So that's a bit of a story there, but does that help explain you about like why they do this monetization?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, it's a bit of a rant. There you go. All right, Peter, what do you got for me?
Well, I'm confused. I've been invited by YouTube to monetize my videos because I'm a partner of YouTube. I said earlier I had 900, I think it's over 1,000 videos on YouTube. All my YouTubes have been optimized and SEO'd the right way. In fact, I paid 2 VAs to do that for me because I haven't got the time or the skills to do that. And yet, I find that if I do a short video of say 3 or 4 minutes, I can have 100% retention for the entire length of the video.
100%.
If it's any more than that, it just drops off quickly. So my question to you really is, Orson, and I know that all of them asked this question in a different way before, is there some magical length of a darn video that we should look for in order to optimize the opportunity of making money? Because I've made the grand total of 68 cents from YouTube over the last 2 years.
I'd really love to look at your stats because I've never seen anyone with 100% retention. In fact, the world leading YouTuber, Mr. Beast, averages 70 to 80% on his videos.
I'm only talking about 2-minute videos, not 5-minute, 2-minute videos.
Yeah. Are you talking about like maybe 1-minute video shorts?
Or even 1 minute, yeah.
It might, because 1-minute shorts, that absolutely happens all the time. And that's called, there's a thing called a loop trick. Now, so would you like me to address why you're getting such a low AdSense, or do you want to understand, what's the optimal length?
Just the optimal length, because I know I'm taking up people's time.
The optimal length is as long as you can make it that holds people's attention the longest. So everyone's different. But your focus should be, how do I make a video that holds people the whole way through? So if you do something and you just see it go, drops, then you go, okay, whatever happened there, probably something we shouldn't do.
Right. Okay.
So now, like if you want to go with like, okay, I just need a number. I need a number to start with. Okay, I'm going to say this number, but it is a double-edged sword. You use it to learn. You don't use it as a Bible. 3 minutes, 30 seconds. That has been the number that I found has been the best place to start with trying to create a long-form horizontal video and holding people's attention. Focus on 3 minutes and 30-second pieces of content. That, if you want to know how many words that is, that's somewhere between 140 to 200 words times the minute length. So roughly 600 words.
Okay. And one last question, and I apologize, Nick, for overtaking this. Sorry. But if I create a 1 or 2 minute video, I heard you say this earlier that I do not want to monetize it because you get the choice to monetize or not if you're a partner. And I say, no, I don't want to monetize it. You're telling me they are monetized anyway.
Are you saying like there are ads on there anyway? Yes, there are. When you become a paid partner, you can actually change the frequency of those ads. So the system, they just did a news update last week. They did have a whole system on how you can choose where the ads get placed, but you couldn't choose the ultimate frequency overall. So you didn't actually have the control on saying no ads or ads, but you had the control of saying, hey, if you are going to put an ad, can you put it right here, right before the reveal of the big answer comes in? So you might have like a big answer coming in. You can make sure the ad goes before it, not after it. But you weren't able to like tell them no ads. You could just adjust it.
Okay. I was under the distinct misunderstanding that if I said no monetization, it meant no ads, but I'm wrong.
Yeah. No, there are always ads on your videos, no matter what.
Okay, thank you.
Unless you make an un-ad friendly video, which I don't recommend, then there's always going to be ads. There was another thing you mentioned there, and up to you whether you want to know about this. Do you want to know why? So 68 cents is very low. I'm hearing there's a lot of short form content. Do you want to know why your ad revenue is so low? Yes. So we're all familiar with TikTok. How many of us don't like TikTok? I'm seeing mostly hands up. So TikTok discovered something when they created their platform, and it has informed every platform since then. But if you go to a kid or you go to someone who's been watching TikTok for the last 20 minutes, they're watching videos and the average length is less than 20 seconds. Okay. And after 20 minutes of doing this and looking at content, you go, what have you been watching? The people go, they just like, my God, I don't remember anything about what I watched. So your big brands like Coke, Nike, and Apple, they realize this too. And they go, well, if people aren't going to remember what they're there to watch, how the hell are they going to remember what they're there not to watch? So they pulled all their money away. And you can actually see this. If you go to put an ad beside a short form video, it's 600 times cheaper right now than to put it beside a long form video. And that's just because of the constant context switching. It means you're unable to remember anything. Now, what's interesting is, like I was saying before, we're all familiar, you get a share of the ad revenue. So if you're getting 55%, which is the YouTube share you get given, 55% of something that's 600 times cheaper, that short hell ain't going to be much. So that's why shorts don't really produce any ad revenue. And two things have happened out of this. So TikTok and YouTube have reacted in really big ways to this over the last month. TikTok will now no longer monetize. They've started introducing a monetization program, but they do not monetize channels that produce videos less than a minute long. They only monetize the videos over a minute. And they now allow up to 10-minute videos. So they're trying to become a long-form vertical social media now. That's probably going to happen over the next year or so. Now, if you look at YouTube, YouTube reacted in a different but also very smart way. And they now have introduced a easy link sharing system. So they're now using the short form vertical content as a similar way to, you know, when you're flicking TV at 10 p.m. just trying to discover something to watch, that's what the YouTube Shorts is turning into. They now have easy links to go, oh, you like the short? Go watch the long form version. Because that, just like you don't make money on shorts, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, they all lose money on short form video content. So they're now trying to find ways to use them as a discovery system to push them to the more bigger money earning content. Does that clear to people?
Yes.
Awesome.
Hey, Orson, can we go back about a half an hour? What's monetization?
So monetization is, like I was saying with the horse story, the cattle station story, platforms will pay you for the content you create.
So you have to be invited like Peter? You have to be invited like Peter got invited, or?
Yeah, you have to be invited. So there's usually a barrier to entry to get there. So on YouTube, you need to have over 1,000 subscribers and over 4,000 hours watched on your video. So if you have a 1 hour video, you need 4,000 people to watch it. If you've got a 1 minute video, whatever 4,000 times 60 is what you need to have people watched it.
Oh,
so
it's never going to happen for me. That's okay. Yep.
You never know. And then, yes, they will actually give you a share of the revenue. So YouTube has the most generous at 55%. And the others they're all calculated differently. Instagram and Facebook do not offer monetization at all. It is just a TikTok and YouTube thing at the moment. And Twitter's been talking about it for ages, but hasn't done anything really yet, minus having a subscription store service thing you can do. So I think we're all pretty clear on algorithms, or we at least understand a little bit more. And we understand that if you want to win into social media, you've got to work with them, not against them. Is that clear? Awesome. So now moving on from that, we understand the algorithm, the system. The next thing I'd like to know is, do we all want to learn about the kinds of people on social media and the kinds of people we should be targeting? Okay, what are we getting? Some nods, we're not sure. Okay, so we'll go with it. There was enough nods. We're saying, yep, awesome. Okay, so I'm now going to show you an article from over 9 years ago. So it's going on 10 years. And what's interesting about this is someone from a Google employee wrote about the 3 types of people you'll find on social media. And the fact that it's still applying today just as well shows how timeless it is. I'm not a big fan of finding tips and tricks that last a week or two. I like finding that timeless knowledge that permanently increases your ability to be seen by a lot of people. So, and this was who my coach taught me about. And this is how I've been taught to learn about people and how they work on social media, and it still works today. So there are 3 main reasons people go on social media. They've at least been cleanly divided into 3. There are entertainment seekers, connection seekers, and information seekers. Let's break down what those 3 are and then who you should be targeting. So entertainment seekers are people who are just looking to be entertained. They're looking to see people jump out of an airplane into a sea full of sharks and somehow survive. That's kind of what entertainment is. Going on to connection. So connection is, I want to feel like I'm hanging out with my friends. How many of us have seen those weird videos where there are people like eating food while talking to a camera? Can I get a raise of hands? We've seen the mukbang weird culture. It's like, okay, there's not many. So usually it's a line of people are eating food, talking to the camera, or they're just, walking and talking about their day, vlogs per se. there are people there looking to feel like they're hanging out with friends or some kind. So that's a connection seeker. They're looking to find that group of people. Fun fact, that's actually how I first got into YouTube. So I grew up in a rural mining town, and this was going on 16 years ago. And being in a rural mining town, I'm a bit of a nerd. I like hanging with other nerds. There wasn't that many nerds in my town. But thanks to the advent of YouTube, I was able to find and connect with a group of people who were just like me. And that's where I fell in love with YouTube. So those are connection seekers. And then finally, and this is the one you want to focus on, everyone, information seekers. How do I fix a lawnmower? How do I insert anything here? How do I put water in my car? How do I sell my services? How do I become an approachable coach? Name whatever service it is you do. How do I do it? That's an information seeker. Now, the reason why I recommend looking at information seekers is that they will make you the most money. So, because they're basically directly looking for your service, and also the ad revenue on information seekers is dramatically higher. So entertainment seekers, people who run entertainment channels, they're roughly getting somewhere between $1 to $3 per 1,000 views, which is not really much at all. Information seekers are averaging anywhere from $7 to $23. And the highest I've seen was an accountant who has $46 per 1,000 views. So because advertisers are desperate to advertise to that target audience. And so they have this massive bidding war. They go, okay, well, I want to bid here. And there's not a lot of content around accountant stuff. So they will have to bid extra high to get that space. That's how it works. It's a big interactive thing. And if it feels overwhelming, the only thing you need to take away from here is that you're looking for people, you're trying to target people who are looking for information. You're not here to post about what's a great place to eat unless it's actually related to your business. You're here to post about how to do stuff around your job just as well. Con, you've got your hand.
So is there a facility to find out who is bidding more for what particular area? So you said accountant, you said there before about the accountant analogy.
$46. The only way I know off the top of my head, I do remember looking for this a little while ago. I haven't investigated recently, but the best way I've known how to do this is, because it's all relative to each other, is if you go to a marketing person, they can actually, you know what, you could. So if you go to a marketing person and you go to ad price predictions, you can actually go on Google and go, I want to put an ad here. What will it relatively cost me? And they'll tell you. But they don't provide a list ultimately. So that's how that works. So going on from there. So now the big things I want to note about these information seekers, connection seekers, and entertainment seekers is that it is much harder to grow a larger audience with an information seeker. But when you do, they pay you a lot more money. And overall, after everything's said and done, you'll make more on your effort targeting information seekers. And the reason why I need to tell you this is that a lot of business owners get, what's that word? We feel disappointed when we're trying to make a video and it's getting 100, 1,000 views, and then their nephew goes and, I don't know, dances to some weird song on TikTok and they get 1 million views, and you go, oh, well, what's the point of that? What's the point of this? The thing to matter is that what your nephew's target audience is really not as valuable as your target audience. Your 1,000 hyper-targeted people for your business are much more valuable than 1 million people who are just looking for entertainment. It's very hard to make money out of them. Awesome. So are we clear on that? Now, do we want to know how we target information seekers, which is basically creating how-to videos, or are we kind of clear that it's about providing free value? So can I get a raise? I'll do this. I'm going to vote. So we're going to do 2 votes. You have to vote. Yes, I want to know about what kind of content information seekers like. No, I kind of understand. So can I get a vote of hands for yes? Awesome. And can I get a vote of hands for no? All right. So we've got about 3 no's I saw there. So sorry, Cameron, I can see you're pretty in tune with this. You can zone out for the next 10 minutes, have a smoke break if that's you. Your time is free for the next 10 minutes. So the biggest, okay, I'm going to be going off the cuff with this one a bit here as well, but so stay with me a little bit. But when you're targeting information seekers, the worst thing you can do is promote yourself. And as crazy and counterintuitive as that sounds, the second you start going, hey, if you want to see how, hey, if you want to get this problem actually solved, come see me, you're going to lose them instantly. And the second you lose them, and you lose them too quickly, they drop off, then the algorithm goes, oh, look, they didn't watch that video properly all the way through. We're not going to share that to anyone. So you lose them in the void. So the biggest mistake a lot of people make is not only just making these videos where they promote themselves or promote themselves too early, but also promoting themselves in the thumbnail and title. The best way to track a information seeker is to, in your thumbnail video, do we all know what a thumbnail is? Okay, yeah, awesome. So when you're doing your thumbnail, you want to make sure you're really speaking to that person. So the biggest mistake I see people with thumbnails make is they'll often talk about the solution, AKA the XYZ system to get your accounting sorted properly, instead of talking about the problem. How to make sure you don't get sued for, or how to make sure you're not getting billed by the tax man for doing your taxes wrong. Something like that. So you want to talk about the symptom, how to cure back pain, not the painkiller. That's the biggest tip I can give you right there, is when you're targeting these information seekers, you need to get to their level. You need to understand what they're searching for, because they don't search and Google XYZ painkiller. They search, how do I get rid of back pain? Now, would we like to know, I guess the answer is yes, by the sounds of it, how we can actually figure out what we can type in to figure out what people are going to search. So I'll just share my screen. I have this template, and this template is going to be a free giveaway for everyone today. And whether you're going on YouTube or not going on YouTube, this is for you. I don't want us to think about where to download it right now. I just want to show you how this works. It's a very, it looks like a lot of pictures and numbers, but it's a very simple one. And it's a very simple way of understanding how we can better perform on social medias. And all this is it's a little chart and it's a little graph, and you're basically wanting to list out, what are the YouTube channels that look like me? What are the YouTube channels that are successfully doing what I want to do? This is important because this becomes our daily reminder of, these are the people we're working with. Not working with, that we're working around. These are part of the landscape we're in. When you start finding these people, you then want to start going onto their YouTube channels and finding what videos from their channel are your favorite. So you write down the title, give them some tags, get a link, and then here's the really important part. You got to note down the sub count and the view count. This is really important because what you're specifically looking for, and this is how you can tell if a video is performing really well, is if the view count's really high, but the sub count's really low, then that means one of two things. One, they've either figured out how to make a really big break in the algorithm and grow themselves, or they've paid for their views. If they paid for their views, don't worry about it. And the way you can tell is if, when you look at that really big view count, if there's a tiny amount of likes and there's no comments and there's a lot of views, then they probably paid for it. But if there's a lot of comments and a lot of likes, then that means that it's probably an organically grown video. Now you're probably wondering, well, what's that view to sub count? What's a good view to sub count? What's a bad view to sub count? Generally speaking, the easiest way to remember this is that if whatever someone's sub count is, normally they would get 10% views to the sub count. So if someone has 2,000 subscribers, normally they would see 200 views per video. So if you see an account with 2,000 subscribers like this one here, and the view count's 58,000 and not 200, you're damn sure that's a good opportunity right there. And that's the constant tactic we use here at Mediable to actually make sure that the content we produce gets lots of views. We just look at what the market's responded well to. Awesome. It's that simple. I feel like I wish there's like a step 3, but it's that simple. You look at what's worked well and you do something similar. Is there any questions here? Victoria. Oh, sorry, Con, you've got your hand up still. Do you have a question? No, you're good. Okay, Victoria, what have you got for me?
Yeah, so that contradicts what you just said. I'm sorry, I'm confused there. So
yes.
If you've got a video, if you've got a channel that you've got 1,000 followers, and then one of your videos says, as you just said, you had 58,000 views, and a certain percentage of that are probably genuine views. Then you're saying then if it's more than that, on the one hand, they're probably paid views, but on the other hand, you're saying that's an opportunity. I'm confused.
I apologize. Maybe I didn't explain that well enough. So this is my first time really explaining it like that. So let me try that again. Let's go through an example here. Let's actually click into this video. So this is a video from a buyer's agent, because I recently worked with a buyer's agent. We had to look at what videos performed well. So when you're looking at videos and you're noting down like, hey, this has got a really low sub count, but a really high view count, what's going on here? Well, you can simply look in here, and the way to tell if they've paid for the views or if they're organic is you look at the like count. So if the likes are relatively the same amount, if the likes are relatively high compared to the views, then they've probably not paid for them. When you pay for views, generally speaking, the audience doesn't react as well. So you don't see as many likes and you don't see as many subscribers, you don't see as many comments. But this video here is full of comments, and 1,200 likes is a really high amount. So all the evidence here points towards that this was organic views and none of it was paid for. Is that clear?
Sorry, yes.
Yeah, all good, all good. If it's not, I'm happy to go again. Practice makes perfect. But anyway, Jeff, what have you got for me?
Basically what I was asking about, you said something about don't promote yourself. Does that mean you leave out the intro on a video?
Absolutely. No intro. No intro. My intro is, hey professionals, today we're going to get into this. Yeah. That's my intro. And I get right into it, because the second you put an intro, people go, oh, those intros, that's from like 10 years ago. This is not going to work. He's promoting himself already. I'm going to find a video that does work. Because if you look at any stats on any video, the first 30 seconds of a YouTube video, people are hyper defensive if this is the right video for them. They're looking for a single reason to click off. And the second they get it, they go. And you can probably even see this. If you look at the intros, if you do a video and you look at where your intro is, you'll probably just see that graph of where people are just drop. So yeah, absolutely don't do intros. And especially do not promote yourself at the beginning. So in the first 30, 40 seconds, don't ask for a like, don't ask for a subscribe. They don't even know who you are yet. They're not ready to make that decision. And putting it there just reduces the chances of them watching that whole video, which serves the algorithm, which then serves you.
Yeah, I just wanted that confirmed, that's all.
Awesome, fantastic. Thanks, Jeff. Victoria.
Yes, sorry, I'm a big question asker if I'm interested in the topic. I've never done intros, and I've been criticised for that for 10 years now, that I've never done those intros because I hate them as well.
Awesome.
But my marketing people that do my Facebook ads, that do my Google ads and all of that stuff, they say, you got to have your face in these videos, Vicky. And I'm like, no, I'm too old and wrinkly. I can't stand it. But they keep telling me, oh, I've got to have my face in these videos. What's the difference?
Right. Okay. So when I talk about intros, I was presuming stingers. So where, you get your logos animated and, it's like, it's the thingy show. You can do like a logo stinger, but it's got to be less than 4 seconds at most. 2 is preferable. When they're talking about putting your face on camera, absolutely. I really hate to be the bearer of bad news, but your face makes such a difference to the amount of people that not only find your content, but that likely to subscribe. So just as a story, this is a quick one. It's not a big one like the cattle station. When I worked with a previous client who was a mortgage broker, literally the day we switched that channel from saying brand name, mortgage broker and company to person's name, what we help solve, the subscriber count grew 4 times as aggressively in a good way. So by having someone's face and them being centered, having a personal brand over a company brand equals roughly a 4 times easier growth path. So if you want to have a big advantage against those big corporations and companies, focus on growing a personal brand. It does an amazing job. And just so you know, beauty is not everything. And like I was saying, if you're worried about beauty, there are only people looking at beauty sort of related stuff, entertainment seekers. They're looking to feel like they're watching some famous celebrity show, but social media version or whatnot. But people looking how to fix a lawnmower, they don't care if you look like an Oompa Loompa. If you fix it right, they're happy. So it doesn't matter. And by the way, I know your camera's not on. I'm sure you're absolutely beautiful. So stop discrediting yourself.
One has to laugh at that.
And finally, I wasn't sure I was going to do it, but I definitely will. I'll talk about gear a little bit later as well, because one of the secrets to video is light. Light is the digital makeup. We've got 15 minutes, don't we, Nick? Awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to speed things up a little bit. So moving on from that, we now know how the social media works. We kind of getting an idea of how the algorithm works. Let's gear up. How do we get this into action? So let me just open up the next slide. So the next thing that comes up, especially with a lot of business owners, is they go, okay, well, I need some gear to go film myself. Here's my issue. I used to work as a camera salesman, and I was not a good camera salesman because sometimes I was a little too honest. Most businesses, I mean, 99% of businesses don't need a camera to do YouTube. In fact, I highly recommend you use your phone. The only exception to not using your phone is if you are a physical product service, in which case either getting a photographer or doing it yourself may be worthwhile. But if you're just talking to camera, your phone is so good at what it does. And in fact, will usually produce a better result than what your camera does unless it's on a professional's hand. Just for note, if anyone's wondering, I am actually using a phone right now. So I could turn this into a selfie mode and start talking. So you don't need fancy cameras to look good on camera. So let's get into this one quickly. So, all right, I just got to open this link. Here we go. All right. Now, again, I'm going to give this link to everyone. So don't worry about jotting down notes too quickly because I will go through this quickly. When you're looking at setting up the perfect camera for a company, there's really three main things you got to look at. Camera, also it's lights, camera, audio, action. So it's those three. So I'm just going to go through these really quickly. If you are going to record with a phone, which 99% of you are, I highly recommend you look at a cage. What this cage allows you to do is it allows you to make your phone a versatile Swiss Army knife. It allows you to attach microphones, lights, put them on tripods. And what's beautiful about this small rig cage is that because it adjusts to the size of your phone, when you upgrade your phone, you don't have to go buy a whole new setup again. So it's sturdy, it saves you time, and it's relatively not that expensive. Moving on from that, microphones. So 50% of your video is audio. The number one reason people click away from a video is not visuals, it's not because of the way you look, it's because the audio sounds bad. If I have to put energy and effort in to hear the words you're saying, which is where the lessons are coming from, I'm going to go find a video that doesn't do that. And then the algorithm's going to learn, and then your video's not going to get anywhere. So the number one thing I recommend is a microphone that's going to be versatile and give you nice, clear, and legible audio. Now, my favorite recommendation to that is the Rode Wireless Go. Basically, it's a wireless microphone. So one end, this is again where you need the cage, this little bit here attaches to your camera, to your phone, and wirelessly receives audio. And then these are microphone transmitters. You just clip them onto your shirt and you're good to go. Now, why am I recommending a clip-on mic? So for anyone here, is there anyone here that hates it when you see microphones on camera? Or do we don't care? Con, you don't like them. Paul, do you like them or don't care? Don't like them. Down, fans. Okay. So I'm going to challenge you guys on this one a bit. You got that little microphone there. I'm going to challenge you on that. Has anyone been bothered by this microphone in shot? No. Oh, okay, Paul, you're standing your ground. I respect that. Look, most people don't care if you have a microphone in shot.
It's okay because I understand what type of microphone it is.
Fair enough. Thank you.
But you're not seeing mine.
Oh yeah, that's extreme. That's extreme. Most people don't care what microphone you have, and the fact of the matter is, if you want a microphone to sound good as well, it has to be close to your voice. There's no physical way around that. I'm going to give you a quick physics lesson here. Sound is nothing more than air moving like this at different frequencies. The faster it moves, the higher the pitch. The slower it moves, the slower the pitch. Here's the thing. As that travels further along, it gets quieter. And this is important because if you want yourself to sound clear and legible, you have to be the loudest noise source. So if I'm speaking here and this is a microphone, every time I halve the distance, it doubles the volume. Now that my voice is double the volume, the microphone actually turns its listening down twice as much automatically. We humans have something similar in their brains. Now that the hearing's turned down twice as much, your voice sounds the same, but everything else, car noises, kids, echoes in the room, they all get half as loud. So if you want to sound good, you need a microphone close to your voice. So that's why I recommend the Rode Wireless Go. If you try to walk around and talk like this all the time, I mean, you can do it, but it's a little weird. Or you can just clip something onto your shirt and forget about it. That's why I recommend a microphone that attaches to your shirt. And then finally, lighting. So for anyone who's not finally lighting, there's also tripods. Okay, I'm gonna make this one 2 seconds. Okay, so when you're doing your tripods, there's really going to be three options. Either you're putting your camera on your desk, you're putting your camera on the ground, in which case you want a small tripod on your desk, a large tripod on the ground, or if you want to get your lighting sorted at the same time, get yourself a ring light. You can put your phone inside a ring light. That'll double as a tripod, and it helps do some enhancement on yourself, making you look better. So I won't go too deep in the lighting now because that's a whole complicated topic. There are plenty of videos on it, but basically lighting is digital makeup. It makes yourself look younger. It makes yourself look nicer. If you were to go spend money on a camera and you're worried about your age or the way you look, spend it on a light. Lights, I can make someone look so much better with a $200 light than a $2,000 camera. So just keep that one in mind if you want to look good. I put my favorite options in here as well. And that's pretty much it. This is like for 99% of business owners, this is the setup I recommend. So again, I'll have to put a link because I just realized this link. So everyone, if you save this link, it will be modified to work. There's just a few things in here I know that aren't going to work. But it'll be working by tomorrow morning. So apologies about that, but I'll put that in the chat right now. There's the chat. Awesome. Okay, cool. Let's move on from that real quick because we are going on 9 minutes and we're on the clock, but we're going to win this one. So go here. Uh-oh, guess who's lost their notes right at the pinch of everything. All right, here we go. And perfect. Okay, so moving on. Let's just go through a specific example. There's been a lot of information. Let's just see how it works. And that 70 to 30,000 views is probably what we want to look at next, correct? So here we go. So this is my personal story. And the reason why I'm talking about my personal story is because one, it's a good one, but also it explains a lot about why I created a YouTube channel. So how many of us would be feeling comfortable if we went to a dentist with crooked teeth? That was kind of my situation about 6 months ago. I was a dentist with crooked teeth. I was helping businesses grow their YouTube channels, doing quite well at it, but I didn't have a YouTube channel that was successful for myself. So that's why I decided to grow mine. And the story I wanted to talk about today was going from 32 to 166 subscribers in a week. The reason why I want to talk about these low numbers here is that this is way harder to achieve than your 1,000 to 10,000 subscribers. And I know 1,000 to 10,000 subscribers excites us so much, but we're not there. Most of us aren't there. We're actually looking at that initial growth. How do we get that audience, that initial audience in when we don't have an audience? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, I just realized that this isn't the right slide. 1 second. And okay. While I'm doing this, is there any quick questions?
I've got one more at the risk of monopolizing.
Go for it.
I've got 1,600 subscribers. I have an average of about 300 or 400 views on each video, but I get very little people who click the link in the description box.
Right, so they're getting that conversion and click-through rate. I don't know if I have time for that right now, but if we do, I'll come back to it.
Okay, thanks. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. All right, and then I go to share this new screen. So I'm going to talk a bit about my personal journey. We'll skip through some of this. So this is me going about some of the reasons. I know we've all heard about AI technology. Did you know AI technology is threatening my entire industry in a good way, in a bad way at the same time? Basically, the way my business was 6 months ago, if I kept it like that, AI would have taken over and basically reduced me to zero. So I needed to find a company moat, something that would give me an unfair advantage and allow me to keep working, basically company leverage. Through a bunch of research, I come to the conclusion that I had to grow my own YouTube channel. And so I went across into that. And as someone who's been doing this for years, I created my first 6 videos to very little results. So even as a professional, sometimes it takes a long time. So here I'm getting 50 views. This says 772, ignore that. I paid $5 because I just wanted to test how that worked. It didn't work. And this got 11 views, 65, 76. Funnily enough, the one that got 11 views actually got me a customer. So nothing's making sense. And I'm not sure, I am sure what's going on, but I just, getting a little frustrated. But then I came across an opportunity. I saw one of these videos. I saw this topic around something I was willing to talk about, where there are people with 500 subscribers getting 2,000 views, 5,000 views, 10,000 views, these really small creators. And I was like, oh, that's an opportunity for me. I'm going to go create something around that topic. And so I did. And because I knew this was such a great opportunity, I actually ended up spending 4 times the effort creating this video. Usually I'll spend somewhere between 3 to 8 hours on a video. This one I spent 4 to 5 days. It was a whole week I spent creating this video. And for the first 3 days, kind of average. It's a bit small there, so I'll make this bigger for everyone. It was kind of average. It roughly got 180 views in the first 3 days. I'm not really happy with that. I was like, that's way too much time and effort for this many views over 3 days. But there was a little hope. There was this kick. And I call this a kick in the graph because YouTube's not magical and instant. YouTube needs to send your video to an audience. It needs to time how long people watch this audience, and then it needs to register whether people will keep doing that. So it takes time for YouTube. I've seen it take anywhere from 1 to 10 days for it to process data before it realizes, oh, I know who your target audience is, and throws the video out. But this little kicks of hope, because this is telling me YouTube's done testing and they know who their target audience is and they're feeding it more aggressively. So I go to bed and don't think too much about it. And then when I wake up, I've gone from 32 subscribers to 80. So from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m., my subscriber count jumped that much. I was like, oh my God, what's going on here? This is great. And then over the next week, the channel did 9,000 views over the next 2 week or 1 week period there. What was that? Nearly 2 weeks. And it did 136 subscribers in growth from a single video. And if you look at the stats, it had an extremely high average view duration. People were watching this really long. For the first 30 seconds, I had 68% of people still watching. So 68% doesn't sound like a lot, but that's higher than 1 in every 10 videos at least. And then it was a 20-minute long video and 40% of people were still watching to the end. So YouTube's like, we're going to make so much money. We can serve 6 ads off this video. We're pushing it to as many people as we can. And so that's how I lined up all those cookies based on the previous examples I was showing before. And just for a little note and an update, if you look at my channel now, I did another video to a similar vein, and it took me 6 months to get to 500 subscribers. 2 weeks later, I reached 1,000. So the growth in YouTube is exponential once you know how to make it work. But the trick is, it's really about figuring out that first 100, that first few videos that actually get you that audience. And the trick to that is you need to look back at the graph here and go, what videos are getting a huge amount of views with small subscriber counts? That's where your opportunities lie. That's how I was able to identify these are the topics I talk about. And if you can understand and do this, you'll be learning and thinking like a full-time YouTuber, because that's how they work and operate as well. But one time is just a coincidence. I'm doing this for myself. Is this really how it works? Here's a quick little example. This is another client of mine. They've been following their marketer's advice, which was we need to be posting frequently, every week at least, on topics. Here's their view count. 4 views, 18, 3, 4, 6, 21, 6 over a 1 year period. That's absolutely atrocious. After we followed and applied the same principles, they did 302 views in their first week on their first video. And they're doing 171 on the second video, and everything is increasing dramatically. So, and these are an Australian-based buyers agency. So that's really covers everything I have to share. So Con, we got 2 minutes. What do you got for me?
So what do these guys do differently than in the end, these property buyers? I mean, do you change, is it more about identifying what people are watching and reconfigure their videos for that? Is that what you did there?
It was everything, but the focus became on posting frequency to average view duration. So what we did, and I worked with them pretty extensively to get their mindsets changed. I said, I want you to think about how do I increase the average view duration, not the posting frequency. So they took a back seat. They actually stopped posting for 3 months, and we just worked together to figure out what kind of, again, that competitor mapping, looking at what content was performing well, what can they produce to match that quality in a reasonable amount of time. And that actually, it affected the kind of topics they talked about, how they prepared for them, what kind of editing was involved, who they hired. But it all started from looking at what was working.
The competitor mapping is probably 60 to 70% of the whole process.
Yeah.
Honestly, the creation, correct?
It's going to take you 10% of your time and produce 95% of the results. So competitor mapping is absolutely essential to winning at YouTube.
Thanks, Orson.
You're welcome. Jeff.
Now, what's the secret to this competitor mapping then? How do you find that out easily?
So it's a bit of a thing, but basically what you want to do is, let me show off that little example again. Again, this, I'm throwing you my template version to use for free. Here we go. And by the way, the giveaway is I'll be working with one person one-on-one to work through their competitor mapping. So that's exciting. It's this template here. What I ask you to do is, and I should probably do a training video on this, so I will do that. Basically, you list down every YouTube channel you can find that's similar to yours. You know, they're promoting a similar business to yours, or they're doing similar content you'd like to create. You list them down and you write down the URL and their subscribers, and you do tags based on how similar or not similar they are. So we based it on buyers agents and their location. When you find out who those videos are, you then want to go into their channels and just start seeing which of these videos have really high views to low subscribers. You've got to literally click into their channels here, go to their videos. Here's a little trick if people want a good answer and a really quick way to start. When you click on someone's videos, click on popular. Now you can see what videos have the most views. Start with them. Verify that they're not paid ads. You want to click into here and go, all right, this has got 78,000 views, 924 likes. It's a little suspicious. It's definitely, I will definitely say there's a fair bit of organic in here, but maybe you click on this one, 69,000, 1,200. 7 months ago versus 1 year ago. No, I'll verify. I'll say that those both look like organic results. And it's a bit hard to tell, well, what's a normal amount of likes to subscribers? It should be obviously bad. Like if you're seeing 40,000 views and there's 20 likes, that's been paid for. That's how you tell. And do you have anything else, Jeff?
No, that's the main thing. Okay.
Awesome, fantastic. Nick, I think we're going a minute over time, but I believe I've covered everything. If there's any other questions, whether we have time or not, up to you.
So I think probably if there are other questions there, how do people get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So if you want to get in touch with me, I'll put my email in the links below. Email is the best way to reach out to me, or my LinkedIn, Orson Lord. So now this is going to show you something. As a YouTube guy, I use LinkedIn for professional connections because that is the better place to be. YouTube is for a different target audience. So this is me, Orson Lord. That's the best way to go. Or I'll put it in the chat here, my email address. Awesome. There we go.
Excellent.
Excellent. And I do also, just for clarity for everyone, my channel mainly shows my subscription service. If that's not what you're looking for, we do one-on-one coaching and everything. Just reach out via email and we can share more about that.
Fantastic. Excellent. Well, I've got lots of takeaways out of that today, Orson. I know that James going to be busy with our channel tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate all of your knowledge and sharing all of that tonight. Now, we do have a door prize for tonight as well, too. So tell us what that is.
Yeah, so that competitor mapping, that's got us all very excited. I'll be working with one person, one-on-one, to do competitor mapping. It's not limited to YouTube. So if you're a local business, I know local businesses struggle with YouTube, where I'm happy to work that through with Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, whatever your preference is. But we'll do a competitor mapping session together for 1 hour and really figure out if there's a grand opportunity for you.
Fantastic. All right, so we've got a special way of drawing that as ever. We have our wheel of names. So if we just pull that up, everybody's name is in that wheel of names. Remember, you actually have to be in the room to win. So if you've disappeared, well, you'll never know unless someone tells you. So let's spin the wheel. Give us a virtual drum roll, please. And we're almost there. And our lucky winner is man with all the questions, Peter Beckener. How are you? Look at that, Peter. Are you still here?
Peter. I am definitely here.
Yeah, definitely. Excellent. Well, congratulations, Peter. Hopefully this gets you more than 68 cents earnings on your YouTube channel.
This is like a Christmas present. Thank you, Nick, and thank you, Orson. I really am very excited about this opportunity. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Oh, that's awesome. Well, we'll connect you up tomorrow, so we'll do that by email, and then you and Orson can organise the session.
Okay.
So once again, let's everybody give Orson a large round of applause. Thank you very much for sharing your knowledge tonight. If you've enjoyed it, it will be up on our YouTube channel tomorrow afternoon. I'm expecting we're going to get 70 to 80,000 views on this particular video. I guess all the pressure will be on sort of how well we optimize this to get that first 100. Maybe I'll be into you, Orson, to get some tips to get that one going up so that, we actually implement everything you're saying. So it will be there tomorrow afternoon. If you're not a subscriber of the channel, go to the YouTube channel and subscribe to it now. When you do subscribe to it, hit that little bell and then you'll get a notification as soon as the replay is up. We'll drop those links into as well too, so you have those. Again, if you're not a member of the Facebook Business Owners Smashing Online Facebook group, go and join it now, and that's where we post the videos, and also the replay will be up there as well too. So that is our session for tonight. If you want to save the chat, now is the time to do it. So if you open that chat, click those three little dots at the bottom right-hand side, all of those links for the cool online tools, and also the links that Orson has dropped in. They are all in the chat as well too. So just make sure you save that before you disappear tonight.
Awesome. And I will be updating the links to the equipment tonight. So if you are interested in that, probably just wait till tomorrow morning.
Awesome. Excellent. So you can sleep on that and come back tomorrow morning. All right. Well, look, thanks very much, everyone, for participating and coming along tonight. Thanks for all your questions and making it such an interactive session with Orson tonight. Thank you again, Orson. And look forward to seeing you all again next week. Have a sensational evening.
Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast. You can also find me on social media and online. Just search for Business Owners Smashing It Online and Nick Cree, spelled Nikree, all one word. If you like this and want to hear more, subscribe now. Until next time, don't be a slave to your business. Get your business working for you.